Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Clipz here. Today we got some more great content for you. So I have stumbled over these animated stories that I've been watching for a little bit, thinking if I could make a video on it. They're really cool and I've seen them all over YouTube. I picked a story where apparently this girl has like 3 or 2 mothers. Let's see.
Hey, I'm Gabrielle, and I want to tell you about a mysterious baby I found on my doorstep. Okay, so I never wanted to get married and have babies. I mean, kids are a nightmare, right? You become a mom and your life's over. No more partying and having fun. It's all diapers and bottles. All that.
Quick question though. Isn't that what being a mother is? You're committing your life to taking care of a child. That's what being a mother is. I mean, like, I don't think your life's over. I just think you're making a big commitment in your life that you are choosing to be a mother. I don't think that once you become a mother and have a child, your life is over. This woman is so dramatic.
That changed one night. I'd been out clubbing, so I didn't get home until late. I tripped over something on my doorstep. It made a strange noise, and I thought someone had left a basket of kittens for me. But then I looked closer, and I realized someone had put a baby on my doorstep.
Well, oof, that baby's gonna have a lot of brain damage. Man, just imagine, your mother just comes up, yeets you in the head after she's clubbing. Just chilling, mind your own business, and then your mother comes up, yeet, into the back of the head. Man, you gotta have a lot of brain damage, and I never knew they made weird noises.
I took it into my apartment and found a note tucked into the Moses basket. It said, "This is your baby. You got me pregnant, and I can't afford to look after her, so she's your responsibility now."
Huh, plot twist, mother kicks abandoned baby onto the street. That would be funny, though. Imagine a video. I'm just gonna boot this random kid off to the street. You're not mine. I thought this video was just about a person having 3 mothers. Like, what?
Her name is Heather. Please, love her as much as I do. What? Clearly, there'd been a mistake. I'd bought my apartment recently, so the baby must have been meant for the guy who lived here before me. Well, I wasn't going to keep her, obviously. I called the cops and they said they'd come with someone from CPS to take the baby. But while I waited for them to arrive, I was cuddling Heather, and she was so cute. She had a tiny little button nose and adorable big blue eyes. She was beautiful. The cops showed up with a lady from CPS. I asked what they are going to do with Heather, and they said she'd probably go into foster care and then be adopted. But if no one wanted her, she'd probably spend her life in foster homes. I couldn't let that happen. She had a mom who loved her, even if she couldn't care for her. What if she changed her mind? She'd never get her daughter back. So I did something crazy. I asked if I could keep her. Of course, it wasn't easy. I had to have interviews and assessments to make sure I'd be a good parent. It was a lot of stress, but I had a good job with plenty of savings, and at last, Heather came home to live with me.
I thought this video was about a person having 3 mothers, or maybe 2. At least that's what the title said. I thought this was a story about a girl having 3 mothers. So far, we're already halfway through the video, and we only have 1 mother, and she's just getting adopted. This is some clickbait right here, boys. Big clickbait. I clicked on this video so I can watch
Once Heather was
somebody have
mine,
3 mothers.
I wondered whether I'd done the right thing. It's hard work looking after a baby, and when your baby cries all night, it's hard to do a good job the next day. I was head of marketing at a fashion label, so I was seriously regretting adopting Heather. But then I hired Charlene, my neighbor, as a live-in nanny. She saved my life. She moved in with us right away. She was the one who got up in the middle of the night to give Heather a bottle so I could sleep. Charlene was awesome. She looked after Heather while I was at work, took her to all the mommy and me classes, and made sure my baby got plenty of cuddles when I wasn't there. I looked after Heather at the weekend so Charlene could have a break, but most of the time, she would insist on hanging out with us. Things were great for a while, but when Heather started school, I told Charlene we didn't need her anymore. She started crying, and she didn't want to leave. She said we were like family. We agreed Charlene could stay on as my housekeeper. She cleaned while Heather was at school. Then she looked after her until I came home from work. Heather loved that Charlene was still living with us. She called her my second mommy.
Oh, okay. Now I'm starting to understand this video a little bit. What is she gonna do? Hire another nanny, and that's how she gets like three mommies or something? She gets like three mothers by one is her kind of mother, adoption mother, and then she has two mothers that are her nannies that are not really her mothers. But that's weird.
But not long after Heather's 10th birthday, I lost my job when the company I was working for went bust.
Okay, so let's put it this way. You lose your job, baby goes up for adoption. End of story, right? No, this keeps on going on forever. Holy crap, bro. Um, I just can't wait for the story to be done because I'm so bored. This is not an interesting video. Please make my suffering end, please.
But nobody wanted to hire me. I was so high level and experienced, it was hard to find the same kind of job. When I applied for lower positions, everyone said I was overqualified. I had enough money saved up to pay my bills for a few months, but if I didn't find another job soon, we were going to be in trouble. It absolutely broke my heart. But I had to let Charlene go. She begged me not to sack her. She said she'd work for nothing as long as she could stay with us. But
Alright, guys, let's put it this way. This story's gonna go on for another, like, hour or something. So, how about I do everyone a favor? And even editing me, how about I do me a favor and I cut half of this video out? Yay! So now we don't have to sit in our seats for almost an hour. I know, this is already a long ass video. Alright, let me give you guys a short recap before we jump into the rest of this video. So basically, she got put off. She had to get rid of the nanny. The nanny was, very sad. And when she tried to give her her suitcase, it dropped a bunch of pictures fill out. She realized that the nanny was a creep, and that's where we are at the video right now.
Heather agreed, and for the first time in ages, she gave me a big hug. She had such a happy smile on her face. What Heather didn't know was I'd installed one of those apps on her phone that let you know where the cell was at all times. The first time she said she was at choir practice, her cell was at school a whole afternoon. But the next time she was supposed to be at choir, her cell left school and went downtown. I raced out of my apartment and got in a cab to find where my daughter had gone. She was in a diner with Charlene. I stormed in and grabbed Heather. "Why are you here? When you're supposed to be at choir," I said. Charlene was really apologetic. She said it was her fault, but she missed Heather so much she had to see her. I told her to stay away from my daughter or I'll get her arrested.
Wow! Mother of the Year award! Yay! Congratulations! Can we get a round of applause, please? Yes, thank you. I know, she's a really good mother. Wow, you just saved your daughter from a molester. I'm not gonna get into details so that this video doesn't get removed. But yeah, congratulations! Yay, all that fun stuff.
I told Heather she had to quit choir, but she cried. So I said she could still be in it, but had to come straight home afterwards.
I kind of take that back. You're kind of a terrible mother. Not money, my bad. You're kind of a terrible mother. You're a weak ass mother too. Holy. Um, like if your child starts breaking down, oh please don't let me go. I would be like, yeah, shut up.
I couldn't trust her not to sneak off and see Charlene again. A couple weeks later, I decided to surprise Heather after school by picking her up and taking her for a manicure. But as I got closer to the school, I saw Charlene waiting by the gates. I went up to her and asked what she was doing. She looked embarrassed and said she just happened to be in the neighborhood. I didn't believe her. She lived on the other side of town. Then Heather came out of school. She saw me talking to Charlene. She went bright red. It was obvious they'd arranged to meet up. That was out on Charlene. She was too obsessed with my daughter. I thought that would be the end of it. But my nightmare was just beginning. Heather got really depressed after I made Charlene.
Isn't that what teenagers do? I mean, like, don't they just isolate themselves in their room, like, kind of like a coronavirus quarantine over here? Don't they just always do that? I'm like, it's nothing rare. Unless your kid's like 10, then they're probably suffering from depression from you firing their nanny for some stupid reason.
Leave us alone. She spent all her time locked in her room and only came out for meals. She wouldn't talk to me, even when I offered to take her shopping for new clothes. So when I called her for dinner one night and she didn't answer, I thought she was sulking in her room. "That's enough, young lady. This rudeness ends now," I said as I went into her room, but it was empty. I looked all over our apartment, but I couldn't find her anywhere. My daughter was missing. I called the cops. At first, they told me she was just being a teenager and not to worry. But when I told them about the restraining order I had against Charlene, they sent someone round straight away.
Thank you. At least this cop is more intelligent than you. Holy. Like, do you not know step number 1 of how to raise a child or something? Once they turn into a teenager, they're probably gonna isolate themselves in the room nowadays, and I can relate, too.
I was so worried. Anything could happen to my baby. What was Charlene's deal? Why was she so obsessed with my daughter? It wasn't normal for a nanny to act like this. The police told me to stay in my apartment while they looked for Heather, but I hated sitting around doing nothing. I had to do something. So I went on social media and shared pictures of Heather and Charlene, asking people to contact me if they'd seen them. And then I got a PM from a woman who lived a couple 100 miles away. She said she was sure she'd seen them staying in the same motel she was in. I forwarded my message to the cops and got straight into my car. I broke every speed limit going, but I didn't care. I had to save my daughter. When I got to the motel, there were cops everywhere. I raced over to them, but they wouldn't let me through. "What's wrong?" I yelled.
Did this woman just yell, "What's wrong?" It's kind of a police raid over there or something. I don't think the police are gonna let you in a crime scene. Yeah, kinda, they're kinda doing their job here. I don't think they're gonna let in a random screaming woman, "Let me in!" if they're trying to do their job. It's kinda common sense. And if you're breaking the speed limit, you're kinda go wee off the cliff.
"Let me get my daughter." That's when they told me Charlene had a gun, and she was threatening to hurt Heather if they didn't leave them alone. I screamed and tried to fight my way through the cops to talk to Charlene, but they were too strong. "Heather!" I cried out for my daughter, hoping she could hear me and know how much I loved her. Suddenly, there was a gunshot. My heart skipped a beat. Was my daughter dead? "Mom!" I heard Heather calling for me. I ran towards the sound of her voice as she came running out of the motel room. This time, the police let me through.
Ma'am, you need to sit down for this conversation. But, it kinda seems that, your daughter is dead, not your shaughter. We'll get to there. But your daughter is kinda dead, and, yeah, some random woman shot her in the back of the head. Yeah, we're sorry about that. Bye.
And we fell into each other's arms, sobbing. She said Charlene had fired a warning shot, but the police had tasered her before anyone could get hurt. Not long after, they brought Charlene out in handcuffs. "Why?" I asked. "Because Heather's my daughter," said Charlene.
Okay, listen, nobody cares. That's practically the end of the video. We don't need to see the last 1 minute of it. But yeah, it was a good video. I hope you guys enjoy. And make sure to like and subscribe. And make sure to comment down below more animated stories if you want more of these. Comment down below what type of videos you guys want to see. And maybe that'll just pop up. So, see you guys next time. Make sure to subscribe and like.